Good morning. Today we will see the introductory lecture on optical communication. Myself, Raja Madasamy, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE at Government College of Engineering, Bodinayakana. So this is our outline of our lecture. So why we have to study optical communication? What is special about it? What are its features? What are the advantages of optical communication over other communication technologies? Some of the basic elements of fiber optic link. We will see the course objective, and finally we'll have a brief discussion on syllabus of this course. So why optical communication? Nowadays, with smartphone revolution, amount of data getting generated is very large. So amount of data uploaded, downloaded to and from the internet is very large. So there is a huge need for high capacity network which supports very high data rate. So in this scenario, optical fiber offers distinct advantage because it has very high capacity and can provide very large data rate. So what does typical optical fiber carries nowadays? It carries all long distance phone calls. It carries most of the internet traffic, which is either earlier carried by DSL or cable, and in case of entertainment, almost all the television channels are carried by optical cables. So it is like a triple play: voice call, data requirement for internet, and channels, television channels for entertainment purpose. All are carried by optical fiber. So it supports all the data requirements of all three kinds of traffic, and it can support large number of users because it has very large capacity. So nowadays, fiber to the home concept is getting popularized, and it is taken to the higher level by all the service providers, internet service providers. So in larger gated communities in the metropolitan cities, each home is given an optical fiber. Like earlier, we have a coaxial cable for watching television. Nowadays, it is the fiber because fiber can provide data needs of every user in the home, be it voice call, internet traffic, or it entertainment. Just now we saw. So fiber to home offers a greater potential, and it can offer wider bandwidth and data. From the government point of view, BharatNet is an ambitious project of Government of India which aims to provide at least 1 Gbps data for 2.5 lakh gram panchayats. So it's going to be a digital revolution. So each and every corner of India is provided with high-speed optical link so that every Indian is connected to the internet. So it is an information revolution, era of information era. So data is important, and every other day millions and millions of devices are getting connected, and it is an internet of things. It is getting popularized. So data is going to be key stay for any revolution, information revolution. In this scenario, optical communication or fiber optics, optical fiber supports the modern communication networks, and it acts as a backbone of communication. So why optical fiber has this much advantage, or what are the features which provides this greater advantages? Let's look at the advantage of optical fiber. So optical fiber provides highest bit rate. of any communication channel, be it coaxial cable or any other wireless channel. In even 5G, we are talking about Gbps data rate, but optical channel, single optical channel can provide 100 Gbps data. Theoretically, even terabits of data are possible. They are in the research phase. It has very high information carrying capacity. It has very high information carrying capacity, terahertz of bandwidth, because we are using light as a carrier signal in optical communication. That is around third window, that is 1560, 1513 nanometer, around 193 terahertz, 193, 194 terahertz. So that means we have tremendous amount of bandwidth available, and it with WDM in place, that is wavelength division multiplexing, that is FDM concept, frequency division multiplexing. We call it as WDM in optical fiber, because whenever we say optical fiber, it is WDM, because we speak more in terms of wavelength rather than the frequency. So with FDM or WDM in place, we can add multiplex more and more number of channels, and with each channel carrying 100 Gbps data, you can imagine how much data it is possible. And it is easy to upgrade. That means it is said that a lot of underwater submarine cables are already laid, but they are yet to be used. That means they are not even light up. When there is a new capacity is required, they will just provide light to that fiber and increase the capacity. So with WDM also in place, with already existing fiber, we can just multiplex the new wavelength. So optical fibers offers tremendous amount of capacity. Another big advantage of optical fiber compared to other wired medium is less attenuation. That is in the order of 0.2 dB per kilometer. So very, very low attenuation, be it a wired communication or wireless communication. Attenuation is a big problem. Because of that, we have to put repeater. Our repeater and regeneration is required at very frequently. In terms of 110 kilometers or 5 kilometers, we have to put a repeater. But in case of optical fiber, since attenuation is very, very low, the repeaterless transmission is possible here. Even up to 100 kilometers, it is possible. And it is used between exchanges of two cities. So in the networking point of view, optical layer and the physical layer level, optical link provides additional level of flexibility. That is through wavelength routing, switching, all happens optically. We can have additional flexibility in having a network architecture. So that is an added advantage. There is no crosstalks and disturbance in optical fibers, because optical fiber, all the energy, that is in the order of milliwatt, it is pumped inside the core of the fiber. So crosstalk possibility is very, very less, or I can say nil. And external disturbance is also getting nil, because core is surrounded by cladding. So energy penetrating from outside is very, very less. So crosstalk is, we can say, almost nil. So it is difficult to tap fibers, so it is secure. So security of communication is important. It should not be eavesdropped. So tapping the fibers and taking out the light or the light signal, it's difficult, and it can be easily detected where the fiber is got cut. So fiber optic communication is secured, and it is immune to EMF and RF, moisture and corrosion. Being a non-metallic medium, it is immune to corrosion and corruption, and EMI, electromagnetic interference, because it does not have any metallic surface or wire. there is no problem of EMF or RF radiation interference. And being optical fiber is a silica material, it's a dielectric, so it can be easily laid in the electrically sensitive surroundings. So it can avoid electrical shock, and it can be easily laid around electrically sensitive buildings or locations. Optical fibers are very small in diameter and size, and they are lightweight, because if you see the optical fiber, the dimension we are speaking is about millimeter. The whole fiber, including the plastic sheath and protective covering, we can say it is in millimeter range. Actual core is in the micrometer range, that is up to 10 to 15 micrometer, with core size of up to 200 micrometer range. So it's an extremely small size. So we can pack more number of optical fiber in a conduit used for laid in the underground. So with a small pipe laid underground, we can carry n number of fibers because it's very small and lightweight. Cost is very low because the material used for manufacturing optical fiber is silica, which is cheapest material, and it is not a costly material. So compared to wired communication, which uses copper, coaxial cable or twisted pair cable, the cost of optical fiber manufacturing is very low. So there are major advantages of going to the optical fiber. So once again, if you reiterate the point why optical fiber is getting this much limelight is it's having huge data rate. It can support very large data rate. See the twisted pair cable or old telephone lines, and it came coaxial cables up to 100 Mbps, or gigabit Ethernet or Cat6 or Cat6e cables. We can go up to 1 Gbps with multimode fibers with LED operated for optical LAN connection in the, or in case of FTTH from the exchange to the home. We are using multimode fiber that itself offers up to 3 to 4 Gbps data. When it goes for single mode communication, which is used for long haul communication between exchanges to exchange, from base station to the main switching center. So this type of long haul communication uses single mode fiber with laser, can carry up to more than 150 Gbps of data. So higher capacity, higher data rate is the key point in optical communication. So this is a basic block diagram of optical fiber optic communication system. There is a information input is there, be it voice or video or any data. We are converting into electrical pulse using a coder or encoder or converter. This optical pulse is used to modulate the light source, either it is LED or laser. That on off, whether we switch on the light on and off at higher speed, Gbps range, gigahertz range, that light is launched into the fiber. This is optical fiber cable. So at the receiver, we are using a photodetector, and we are amplifying the received signal. We shape the wave, delimiter everything, and we get back the electrical pulse signal. Then we'll decode the signal and get back the whatever the original data, voice or data is sent from the transmitter. So this is a simple block diagram. From the transmitter, optical source is modulated by the electrical pulse. The light pulse is traveling through the optical fiber cable, and it reaches, the light falls on the photodetector, photosensitive detector. So then, and it is decoded or detected, we'll get back the original signal. So here it is where from transmitter to receiver, the high speed is possible via this optical fiber through this optical media. So this is a typical block diagram of fiber optic link. which captures all the basic elements of used in the any optical fiber communication link. So we have electrical signal. So electrical signals are marked in the dark color. Electrical signal that is given to the driver circuit, a modulator circuit. So that signal modulates the light source. So it is launched into the fiber. So that shaded line is optical signal. So this is optical fiber. So optical fiber, we are using connector to connect from the transmitter to that fiber. The fiber is going. If there is a length of fiber is required is very large, then we use a splicer to connect. We use splicer to connect two optical fibers. It's a coupler. So to take out optical signals, to divide optical signal, we are using a coupler here. So there is a need for regenerator. If the optical signal is traveling the large distance, let's say more than 100 kilometers or 200 kilometers, then there is a requirement for regenerator. So where we receive optical signal, we'll convert back to electronic signal, we amplify it, regenerate it, and then again we modulate the optical transmitter and send back the same message. It's like a repeater kind of thing, regenerator. When distance is large, means large I am saying, I am taking about hundreds of kilometers, which is unthinkable in terms of wireless communication. Because within 5 to 6 kilometers or 7 kilometers, the power gets decayed, which is very, very low, which cannot be detected by the receiver. But optical cable can give up to 100 kilometers of reach. So at the receiver side, we are again using an optical amplifier. Before it's getting detected, we'll use optical amplifier to boost the signal. It is falling on the photo detector. We'll convert into electrical signal. Again, we saw that it's become dark single line. So it is an electrical signal. We are amplifying it. We will use the signal reduction. We'll get back the original electrical signal out. So this is a single full complete path where we use optical source, fiber connector, optical splicing. We use optical coupler to couple two or more optical signals. Here we are using a regenerator. Others can be like a, let's say 1.2, once the fiber is coming from city A to city B, it is getting some part of energy is given to city B, that is it is terminated to city B. The remaining energy, remaining same signal is going to city C, another city. So before sending it to another city, we are regenerating and then sending it again. So it goes like this. And we are using optical amplifier. So optically we are amplifying the signal. So no need to convert back to electronic signal again. So before detection, we are using optical amplifier. Then it is a photo detector is there. We are converting back to electrical signal. Then usual signal processing is happening to detect the signal. So this is about the basic elements of fiber optics. So we'll see the course objective. So what we'll going to cover and what are the aim of this course. So in this course, we study about various optical fiber modes. So when we say fiber modes, that's transmission characteristics. Based on the Maxwell equation solution, there are a lot of modes possible. Based on that modes, we will classify single mode fiber, multi-mode fiber, and its configuration, how energy is distributed in the core and cladding. We'll see the transmission characteristics of optical fibers, that is attenuation loss, scattering loss, absorption loss, bending loss, also dispersion, how on-off keying, that is square wave pulse is getting transmitted. Is there any change in the shape of the signal? So how to quantify that shape? So all these are studied here. So we'll see more about dispersion characteristics of the fiber, chromatic dispersion, material dispersion, waveguide dispersion, polarization mode dispersion. So how the dispersion is getting affected in our signal. The third unit will see about optical source, that is laser and LED. We'll see about photodetectors also and different transmission techniques available. So in the fourth unit, we'll see different measurements of optical fiber, that is numerical aperture, wavelength, refractive index. So all these are measurements we'll do with optical fiber and various coupling techniques. So what are the different coupling techniques to launch the light into the fiber, because dimension of fiber is very small. So we have to use various coupling modes based on the requirement. Finally, fifth unit we'll see about optical communication systems and networks. At the physical layer level, at the network side, how optical links are established with reliability. So those things we'll see here. So quick summary of syllabus. What does first unit cover, second unit cover, and third unit cover? So first unit is introduction to optical fibers. So there we will see optical modes and its configuration, mode analysis using mathematical derivations of circular waveguide, because optical fiber is a circular waveguide. So we'll use circular waveguide analysis to study the propagation characteristics of fiber materials. What are the fiber materials is used? How different refractive index profiles are created in the fiber. So we'll see fiber fabrication technique and classification of fiber, that is single mode fiber, multi-mode fiber, graded index fiber, step index fiber. So different classifications of fiber we'll see. So second unit, it's about transmission characteristics of fiber, that is loss, attenuation, different losses of the fiber, be it attenuation, absorption, scattering, or bending loss. Then we have dispersion characteristics, how the pulse is getting dispersed, or that is getting time delayed. Different frequencies are getting different delays in the receiver. It because of material dispersion due to silicon, or its waveguide because inherent nature of the waveguide, intermodal dispersion, intramodal dispersion, polarization mode dispersion. There are different uh, types of dispersion. We'll look into it one by one. Then characteristics of single mode fiber. So what is the advantage of single mode fiber? How to sustain single mode inside the fiber. We'll see about mode field diameter to characterize the dimension of the core of the fiber. Third unit deals with the optical source and detector. So major optical source are lasers and LEDs. We'll see its quantum efficiency, how to modulate that laser and LED, rate equations for laser diodes. In detectors, we'll see PIN diode, PIN diode, photodetector, and avalanche photodetector. We'll see how to eliminate the photodetector noise, how to quantify the photodetector noise. And fourth unit, we'll see about optical receiver measurement and coupling. So what is a typical optical receiver does? So what are the probability of error? What is the receiver sensitivity? What is the quantum limit? What is the source of error? So all this will cover in the unit 4. Then we'll do different measurements on the optical fiber. Optical power, attenuation, dispersion, numerical aperture, cutoff wavelength. So these things we'll measure in the optical fiber. So what are the measurement techniques available? We'll cover in that part. Then we'll talk about fiber joints, how to join two different fibers, whether we use connectors, then splicing techniques. So these are the topics covered in the unit 4. Fifth unit covers about link design. So how to design point-to-point link. Link power budget. What is the minimum power required for one point to transmit signal from one point to another? What are the factors to be considered? About bandwidth requirement. So what is the rise time of the each communication links, so that we'll estimate what is the maximum bandwidth supported in the fiber. We'll see about WDM concept, that is wavelength division multiplexing. That's wavelength division multiplexing and its impact on the optical networks. Finally, we'll see about SONET SDH optical interfaces and optical R-drop multiplexer. So this is about optical R-drop multiplexer configuration, so that it's like a multiplexing dynamically. Whenever we need any, there are n number of wavelengths going inside the fiber, because fiber has large capacity. There's a 3 bands possible: first generation, second generation, third generation. So 830 nanometer, around 1310 nanometer, and then 1530 nanometer. So in each wavelength we can transmit the data. So based on the requirement, we can add any wavelength or remove any wavelength, that is add or drop the wavelength using a R-drop multiplexer. We'll see about optical Ethernet and Soliton. Thank you.